welcome. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Your video is about to start. I just wanted to invite you to take a moment with me to remember our deployed military members who cannot be home like most of us can be. It is a cause that is near and dear to my husband's heart and therefore my own as well. And if you feel like it, take a moment with us. Enjoy your video. Bye-bye. Good morning. Happy Friday, TGIF. I hope you all had a great week. I am going to be going over this interesting money laundering case reported by the OIG. It came out on March 5th. So it looks like a fellow by the name of David Danian, aka Bamikol Lanian, aka David Enfield, aka Africa, who was age 60 and of Brooklyn, New York. I'm saying his name, guys, because he pled guilty and he no longer enjoys the privilege of, or the right, I should say, of being innocent until found guilty. So if he was not yet convicted, I wouldn't have mentioned his name because I don't do that for someone who's not been found guilty yet. Under the rules of a court, as opposed to in the court of the media. Anyway, he pled guilty. So apparently he played a role in some bank fraud and money laundering, in a bunch of conspiracies led by someone by the name of Oluwaseun Adekoya, age 39, also a Nigerian citizen of Cliffside Park, New Jersey. Wow. So the original guy we're talking about, the 16-year-old, a 60-year-old, 60, Danian, pled guilty on the 5th of March to conspiracy to commit bank fraud, money laundering conspiracy, and aggravated identity theft. He admitted that while he worked with Adekoya, which must be the 39-year-old, he obtained the personal identifying information of people residing all over the United States and recruited lower-level conspirators to impersonate those people using fake driver's licenses to fraudulently obtain cash. As well as checks and loans at their financial institutions and obtain merchandise using credit at real retailers, including Saks, aka Saks Fifth Avenue. Danian also admitted to conspiring with Adekoyo and others to launder the proceeds of their bank fraud by, among other things, using fraudulently obtained funds to purchase additional fake driver's license and depositing fraudulently obtained checks into the accounts of the names of the identity theft victims that were controlled by the co-conspirators. He admitted that the bank fraud conspiracy netted them over $1.7 million in fraud proceeds and was perpetrated in the Northern District of New York and all over the country. Wow. So according to the documents filed in the case, Danian was a citizen of Nigeria, so he was a visitor here. He had been living in the United States without authorization, so I think that would make him an illegal alien. And yes, I use that word. Under the numerous aliases since at least the 1990s, when he was first investigated, charged, and convicted in another federal district under the stolen identity of a U.S. citizen. Wow. So he was already a criminal and still here. Lovely. Okay. They have a bunch of conspirators, defendants that are charged in this indictment. The 39-year-old Adekoya, who sounds like he's the ringleader, is charged with a variety of charges. Then we have a 36-year-old named Kenny. No, I'm not even going to say that name because he's charged. I'm going to leave those names alone, the rest of them. I bet you the first guy, the 60-year-old, is turning state's evidence against all the rest of these. I'll give the first names. So you have Adekoya, Canny, Davon, German, Christian, and Crystal. And these guys range in the ages of 36, 27, 20, 20, and 44. Yeah, so those guys have not been convicted. They've only been charged. So, of course, they maintain the presumption of innocence unless and proven guilty. Let's see. Then there's a bunch of others. They go on and on and on. I guess Danian's sentencing is going to happen in July, and he faces a maximum term of 30 years in prison for the bank fraud conspiracy, 20 years in prison for the money laundering conspiracy, and a mandatory consecutive term of 2 years in prison for his conviction of aggravated identity theft, as well as an order of restitution of at least 1.7 million and a term of supervised release of up to 5 years. He agreed to forfeit nearly $100,000 in proceeds of the bank fraud conspiracy seized by federal authorities. Oh, wow, he agreed to forfeit what he stole. Wow, that's really rich. Um, the defendant's sentence is imposed by a judge based on the particular statutes the defendant is charged with violating and the U.S. sentencing guidelines and other factors. Following his term of imprisonment, Danian will be placed into immigration removal proceedings. Really? Okay. Interesting. That's just that's just beautiful. Not. Okay. What do you think, guys? That's pretty bad. It's been here since the 90s, despite being a felon and having been convicted before here. I don't know. We haven't been doing a very good job, huh? All right. I'm off. But anyway, there's another Nigerian one right under this that the OIG published, so maybe I'll go into that one. I don't mean to pick on Nigeria. There's some very nice Nigerians, but there is a lot of fraud. All right. Bye, guys.